Hello, I'm your host, Leonard Duncan. Welcome to a new episode of ATV-TALK, a motorsports podcast. Please join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We bring you interviews with industry professionals, live events, live news about the motorsports industry in every episode. Enjoy the show. Whether we are out riding with our friends and family or racing in extreme environments, we all need good tires. That's why I recommend GBC Power Sports Tires, a division of Greenball Corp. Their products, which include XC Master, Mini Master, and Groundbuster 3, are what leading professionals in the ATV-UTV industry are using. You can get your tires at greenballtires.com or find them on Instagram as GBC Tires for further inquiries. Are you looking for the best suspension technology for your sport ATV? Look no further than Elka Suspension, the industry leader in sport ATV suspension technology. With championship wins in prestigious events such as the Dakar Rally, SCORE, Best in the Desert, ATV MX, Cross Country, and Works, Elka Suspension has established itself as the go-to choice for athletes and enthusiasts alike. But they don't just stop at ATVs. They're constantly expanding into new markets, including UTVs, trucks, SUVs, pit bikes, snowmobiles, and more. Their commitment to innovation and quality means they're always looking to improve and adapt so you can enjoy a smooth ride wherever you go. Want to learn more about what Elka Suspension can do for you? Visit their website at elkasuspension.com or give them a call at 450-655-4855. They will always be happy to answer your questions and help you find the perfect suspension solution for your needs. Welcome to DBR Racing Products, the leader in 3D modeling and innovations. Since 2015, they have been revolutionizing the industry, starting with their groundbreaking YFZ 450R battery boxes. But they didn't stop there. They have continued to push the boundaries, constantly improving their design with each new version. In 2018, they introduced the game-changing Vortex EXO cage, specifically designed to securely hold the Vortex ECU in a safe and sturdy location. This breakthrough innovation ensures your ECU stays protected even in the toughest racing conditions. At DBR, they understand that every detail matters. That's why they also offer an array of essential products to enhance your racing experience. Their spark plug hold downs keep your engine firing at peak performance, while their LTR breather boxes ensure optimal ventilation for your machine. Their LT250 engine skid plates are a must-have for those seeking unmatched protection. Engineered to shield your engine from impacts and rough terrain, they provide the ultimate defense for your ATV. But that's not all. They've developed ProPeg mounts that allow you to use TRX 450R Nerf bars, giving you greater control and maneuverability on the track. To explore their full range of innovative products and learn more about DBR Racing, visit their website at www.dbratv.com. You can also reach them directly at 507-828-1233. Their knowledgeable team is ready to assist you with any questions or inquiries. DBR Racing Products, where innovation meets performance. Unleash the power within you. Jim Hardy, welcome back to ATV Talk. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Leonard. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, I know that in our pre-conversation we talked a little bit about Pleasure Valley, but sorry you guys didn't have a better weekend. You know, that happens.
Yeah, I hear you. That rain will get the best of us usually, but we'll bounce back. You know, we're still up 41 points. So Joel's healthy, everybody's healthy. Gary's doing great work at the shop, and you know the engine crew is solid. I mean, everybody's clicking. Even for some of the unfortunate things that happened with that, we're still pretty good. Joel's won all but 3 motos this year, so we're doing the right things. And Joel's phenomenal. He's in great shape, so he's still got that eye of the tiger. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's been a man on a mission this year. That's one of the things we talk about on some of our other show that we put on Sunday mornings. We do a YouTube live show, and we talk about the fact that he's just flat been on a mission. You know?
Yeah, he's it's really cool to be a part of this team, to be around somebody who's like, I didn't get to watch Jeremiah Jones back when he was in his prime. And and I seen some of his races, but I was never there. I seen back when Gary Denton or Donnie Banks was fast. Donnie was an animal on motocross, and Gary was good too. But man, there was some fast guys, but man, to watch Joel, he's just at, I don't know if it's because he's, so he's the shorter guy or what, and he's really light. But man, his reaction time is just, he's at a different level. And I don't know who's coming up, who's gonna, Bryce obviously won this weekend. Great job. He did a great job surviving the mess, and he's been very consistent all year. Chad had the broken collarbone, and he's still scratching his way trying to get back into second points. And I tell you right now, it's going to be tough for Chad to get it, especially with Bryce winning. But um, Chad's an oak, Chad will continue to, he's there. He pulled both hole shots. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get Bryce or not. Bryce is going to have a bad race for that to happen. But the way it looks now, I mean, Bryce just padded some points there this weekend. So I was figuring out the points. And even if say Joel won out and Chad was second and Bryce was third, every round Chad couldn't get him. I think he wouldn't have been able to get him by like 1 point or 2 points or something. But now it's gonna have to take it's gonna have to have for Bryce to have a really bad race, and then Chad's right there. But man, there's some action. Then you got Rastrelli, you got Janusa banging out some burners at the last couple rounds. Really good lap times. Rastrelli's there. There's so many people in the mix that are going for it. You got Brandon Hogue. I mean, it's crazy. It's so cool watching, like, if Joel doesn't check out, but watching second place on back right now is insane, because there's a lot of guys that don't have nothing to lose, like say from third on back. Like me and John Ford were talking, and it's like, Bryce is trying to stay as consistent as possible, but these guys like, Brandon Hogue, you got Rastrelli, you got Janusa, they're going for it. So now what do you do? Because Bryce, he's got to protect himself, but so it's kind of really some of the best racing I've seen in a long time. Even though, obviously Joel, when things are clicking, he's hard to beat. He really is. Chad's good, and so that third place on back is crazy right now. So it's really some good racing this year that we haven't seen in a while. And then the rain throws such a curveball into it. And I know Wesley Wolf was running up front. He's a old GNCC guy. I say old, he's not old, but he's an old GNCC guy. So that kind of plays to his favor. And he's a motocrosser, so that's like kind of right there. He was running up front, and I mean, even Cody Ford got up there, and he was up front this weekend in all that mess. And it was funny because them two rode by past the checkered flag and over one tabletop, and they were right beside each other, and it looked like they were just screwing around while the downpour was going on. but they were really just salvaging themselves to make it through the race. And they ended up, I think Cody was fourth and Bryce won it or something like that, or right in that range. I mean,
So Cody was third in that moto.
yeah. I mean, but it's a really good race. And then Kevin Sarr, he
Yeah.
was on the box. That was awesome. But that was good to see that. I mean, that guy's traveled from, his country over here, and just to get up there, that's pretty cool. We were all happy. We were actually all happy for him. That was neat to see.
That's, you know what? Well, when you race over in Europe, you get used to some of that stuff. And he
Right.
seemed to be right at home and have the best motos of the year for himself.
Yeah, his lap times, if you watch him, he may not put out a blistering lap speed, but his lap speeds are all very consistent. Like, they don't fluctuate much. And it's like, wow, he's very consistent lap speeds. And but like I said, he's usually, seventh, eighth, ninth, right in there. But maybe a little bit farther back, but not much. But I mean, but his consistency has been pretty solid. And he's been winning in the pro-am too, when he runs that class. So he's doing good. He's getting faster every weekend. He does a good job. We like to see him up there. He's doing good.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought it was great to have him up there, and I can't wait to get him on the show to talk about it. What he thinks the differences
Yeah.
between racing back and forth are. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about is the Team USA.
Yeah.
Getting ready for Team USA. Some of the stressful things that go on with that, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the preparation, the layout, and going to Italy again.
Well, I just got told probably a week or two ago that it was for sure that I was going with Joel. So it was kind of cool to hear that finally. And then, Gary's got obligations at home, and we understand that. And obviously he preps the bike and everything before we send it over. But yeah, we're excited to go again. I'm excited because I get to go over with Joel and the whole team. You got Chad and Bryce going with us, and yeah, it's preparation. A lot of the prep work gets done at Phoenix. I know that they're getting ready to test motors and fuel and all that right now within probably the next week or two, and then I think the next round at Briarcliff will be getting all the toolboxes and stuff sent over to the containers and start loading up and getting ready to ship it out. Yeah, it looks like, I talked to Joel a little bit about it, how the track was and that, and he said it was pretty hard pack, which that's one of Joel's favorites is hard pack. So, yeah, we're excited to go. It's, we got a solid team again. I know that the ATV USA MX team, I know they're out trying to get money raised and all that. And if anybody's interested in that, you can go on Instagram and go to the page, and you can get a hold of Harv Whipple, or you can contact any one of us and we can point you in the right direction. If they got sponsor packages out there for the team. The crazy part is we had our first meeting this weekend, and we found out, I don't know the magnitude of what kind of money it takes to go over there and that, but they talked about it this weekend, and it it costs a lot of money. They were saying it was like 30,000 to send a container over, and like they have to raise like close to 80 grand just to go, and that covers all expenses. And then some people brought up, hey, what happens to money? What happens with the leftover money? They said, no, we build for the next year. So any money that's left over, they transfer over for next year, which was cool. So they're always thinking about keeping it going and keeping a Team USA team going over there. So it was pretty neat. Sitting in there, kind of hearing that and understanding everything.
Mark has got a business to run.
Yeah.
Goes to the nationals with a rider, and now he's taking care of the Team USA again. And that is just incredible that the guy can focus on all of it. And he's
Well,
no young
he's
chicken either.
no, Mark's like, like Mark's my age and or maybe a little older, but I doubt it. I mean, he's got to be 51, 52 maybe. But Harv Whipple, he really is involved a lot with it too, with Mark and Jody. And they've really, they did it. Mark's a diehard. He's lives and breathes ATVs his whole life. And them guys work very good together. And like you said, there's a lot of work behind that, but man, Mark's all in. Mark's all in, always has been. And Harv's a key player along with Jody and all them that you just, them guys are really and there's other key players in there that are behind the scenes, but man, that, them guys there, they're excited to go. Mark loves it, and but as like you said, he's got Bryce, he's got, Cody, he's doing stuff with all them guys, and and he's wrenching, and he was changing motors out this weekend like all of us were, but he stays busy. I got a lot of respect for Mark. He's the old school, he's like us, Leonard.
Dude, I get it. I know. You just never quit working.
Yeah.
And you never quit thrashing because there's always more. There's just always more.
Yep, for sure.
The one of the things, the honor, you got to go last year, and the emotion that you guys felt over there, you could almost feel it through the photos and some of the videos I got to see. Is that something that instantly came back to you when you got picked to go this year?
Yeah, it was it's crazy because the chaos there was so, like you got one rider racing like this year when we go over, because Joel will carry the #1 plate for Team USA. He'll race first and last. So then you'll have like Chad racing first and second, or vice versa. Bryce will be racing first, second. So it's so crazy because like the celebration you feel like is at the end. But even though it's so you're kind of waiting to see. For me, it was like you're kind of waiting to see what's gonna pan out of this. Are we gonna be okay when we get out of this or not? But yeah, I mean when they asked, I mean, I personally, how you gonna turn that down? I can't turn that down. You go over there with the top 3 riders in the world and be able to represent the USA. I mean, I I even talked to Gary a little bit. I'm just like, man, you sure you don't want to go, And he's like, man, I want to, but I just can't. I said, okay, no problem. But because I would, to me, with all the years I have in the ATV world, it's just them are things that you just go, I can't turn that down. You can't turn it down. Go over there
Yeah.
with the baddest dudes, 3 dudes in the world, and be able to say, hey, I went over there and was their mechanic. That's hard to turn down. It really is. And it's an honor that they chose me. I can't complain about that neither, and Gary does a lot of the work, back home. So, but me and Gary work together every weekend at a national, and we're kind of in sync with everything on what, I stay out of Gary's way, and I do a lot of multiple things behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Like I'm messing with tires, tire pressures, grooving tires, anything around that line that Joel wants. I'm working, talking, filming with Joel to understand what he, if I see something, I may see Chad taking a line that's faster than Joel. And I'll say, dude, you need to try this. I'll have it filmed for him when he comes in and say, look at this. What do you think? And Joel reads it. And I send Joel about 15 videos after every race, stuff that he wants, that he looks at, that he goes through. And, and I know he appreciates it because there's been times where we weren't good, and Pleasure Valley was one of them 2 years ago. And I had to go, a funny story, I had to go pick up our boss from the airport, and Joel came in and he wasn't fast qualifier. And he's like, "Where's Jim at? Like, where were you at? You're supposed to be telling me where I'm slow at." And I'm like, I had to get the boss, man. So it's cool because I know he appreciates it. And I've had other riders say to me, "Where are you gonna be at? Where are you gonna be at? I want to make sure I don't show you nothing over there." Joking around, but I mean, everybody gets it. I think a lot of other people do that more now because they need to see where Joel's fast, or Brandon Hogue, or Bryce Ford, or any of them guys. They need to know, they should be doing their homework. You know what I mean?
I agree. So how does it going to break down for you at the quad cross race with filming or doing anything like that? Will you be able to move around a little, or are you going to be locked into staying in the mechanics area?
Pretty much I'll be in the mechanics area, but the nice thing about quad cross is everybody's got headsets on. So it's kind of like Supercross does. A lot of the teams have headsets, and they have people placed everywhere. We had at the last year, we had probably I don't know, probably six or seven headsets on everyone, and they all went all over the whole track. And all you heard the whole time was gaps. Joel's +2, +3, +4, whatever. Same with Chad. Anybody who was out there racing, everybody had a headset on, and a lot of guys cover the track. If we have people there who are helping, that flew over there, and they wanted to wear a headset, I think they put them on them. You know what I mean? I mean, it didn't get that open, but mainly, I think Baldwin, Jody, Harv, the three mechanics, we all, and I think David had a set on. So there's 6, 7 sets of headsets throughout the whole track, letting us know, is Joel okay? Did Chad's, Chad had a problem. Where's he? You know what I mean? He's coming up, get ready, get this ready. So there's a lot of eyes and ears out there for us on the headsets. So that's, I can't, I don't typically have time to film when I'm wrenching, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm listening to what's going on. I'm trying to get it on if there's a live timing, I'll be watching the live timing so I can tell Joel how big a lead he has, or what place he's in, whatever it takes.
From the first day you get to test the bike over there, how
Yeah.
much hands-on do you have with the machine from that moment on?
It's all hands on, whatever we need to do, whatever I need to do. Like last year we got out there, the container landed, we ended up unloading it and everything, and then we have test day was like the next day. But the first day we got it unloaded, we had to work on it because we had to add an extra set of nets. So they want 2 pieces of netting connected to the frame. So I was cutting up netting for all the bikes because lot of them didn't have them, so we had to make them, and we had stuff there for it. We had everything to do it. And then everybody is just working together to get everything ready for practice day. And then we ended up going to try. It rained over there, and the place, it seems like the place we were gonna go um was too wet. And no, where we went was too wet. Half the track was slop, and then the other half was dry. So we just said, all right. And then they just started pulling hole shots, running up this hill, coming down, and just did like a quarter of the track and was just trying to feel it out, test it. And like where we were at, we took brand new pipes over there that we've never used before. We didn't know what we were going to get, if we were going to have any issues with mapping or any of that, because we really never ran the pipe before. So we luckily, everything, our test day was amazing. It went so smooth, and Joel was happy with everything. He's like, yeah, this bike's good enough to run right now at the nationals, at the national level with it that choked off. So we had really we went over there, and yeah, we had to do a little bit, but not a lot. And luckily they will be testing like we test the fuel we run over there in the States. So we're kind of ahead of the game a little bit there too. So because you can only run a certain fuel there, so we'll be doing that within the next week or two, and then that will be done and should be good to go. Everything. And to be honest with you, we're taking our bike we took over there last year, so that helps us. That's what we're doing. I don't know I don't know what Bryce and them, if they're building new bikes. I don't know if Chad is, but I know that we're taking the same bike we took over there just because when it came home, we put it on the floor of the showroom, and then we left it there because we didn't know we didn't know if we would even go this year. We didn't know what would happen. So, and then when they said, yeah, we're going, then we said, okay, we got our bikes already done. So
When you're talking about the rules difference, they don't make any consideration for the way that the US rules are different than they are in different areas. They don't care. They
nope.
run their rules and that's it.
Yep. It's their rules or go home. You know what I mean? It's they when they do decibel testing is way different than ours. They're revving it up to the rev limiter. We don't do that.
Right. So that
So
makes it even more difficult, doesn't it?
yeah, yep. So we actually at last year, I mean, actually DASA built us 3 pipes for over there, and they did a lot of work to get their pipe right. And we ended up putting that pipe on first, and it was the quietest of all of them. And we didn't have to do a bunch of crazy stuff to get it quiet. So it was pretty good.
I built quiet exhaust and tested and done all this stuff and worked with the sound guys, the sound schools and stuff like that. It is so difficult.
It is. And then once you start
generate power and no noise.
Yeah. And then you throw compression and stuff like that at it, and then that throws it off. And then there's a lot of key players that I've found out over the years that I seen from going to these events. Oh, okay. Now I know how they're getting it quiet, or now I know how they're doing this. And it makes sense. It's just there's some tricks in there that people use and and get away with it. And if it works, hey. The crazy part is like even at Joel's last race last year, I ended up taping up his airbox because I was still a little bit worried because we were that good over there that what somebody because they can still do sound check after the race, so
right.
that can throw things off. So I even taped up the airbox for the last race just to be double safe. I didn't want to even roll the dice. What happens if we start burning out packing or something like that? And it can change. It changed our bike last year 2 decibel taping off the airbox.
It quiets it down because the sound meter catches the airflow, the air suck. It's like when they test an LT 500 for sound, most of them fail because it's airbox noise that's creating more noise than the exhaust.
Yep. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't catch that. I didn't know about that stuff until like 5 years ago, or probably a little bit longer. Probably about 2016, 15, 16. I got my awakening to that, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. But it's neat. It's good to know it now. Running amateur stuff, you don't have them issues. But when you start helping out in the pro class, that's a whole nother animal.
Well, yeah, and then like on the West Coast, there is no sound.
Oh wow!
We don't run sound tests. They started to.
That's why Curtis's pipes are so loud.
Well, yeah, because I mean, when you're on the West Coast, you don't have to. Same with us. We don't make sound devices for them anymore. because
Yeah.
it just became most of our businesses done on the West Coast. So, or the recreational people don't do sound. So why are we worried about it?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I mean, I would love to get into it. Have you seen the sound graph and how that, everybody thinks that it steps 1, 2, 3, 4. Sound doesn't step like that. You may get 1, 2, 3 that's normal, and then it has a wide gap to 4.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah. So I don't know how to explain it they have special terms for it of
Right.
how that works, why there's such a wide range from 1 decibel to the next decibel, or, you have some that are shorter. It's really, really incredible. I got to sit down with a sound measuring teacher, and
Oh,
he was
wow.
talking about how you're setting your decibel meter a certain way will affect it this way. You set it this way. If you take somebody and you stand them 10 foot in front of your quad and sound test it, it
Yep.
will affect the sound.
Yeah.
You mark them out to 14 feet, and they will not affect it after 14 feet.
Oh, wow. Yeah. See, like Harv does all the sound typically at the nationals. And like, we've seen weird days where like everybody's stuff is louder and it shouldn't be. And then the next race is quieter and they didn't do nothing different, and it's just I guess where, how it's echoing or whatever through the pit or whatever. But yeah, we've seen some weird things where we're like, wow, we haven't had an issue since since we've run the FMS and stuff. We haven't had any issues with sound. We've been really quiet. And but man, when we were running the DASs, because DAS's got a real throaty throat to it, man, we were jamming exhaust stuffers and all kinds of stuff. And then Dan came out with a quiet pipe, and it really helped. It really helped for people passing, the sound. But that's a lot of work.
It is, and you got to take your hats off to those guys that develop
Oh yeah,
exhaust that make power and are
they do
quiet.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Domas. There's the Doma exhaust is what they use overseas. A lot of guys do, and our Dasa was quieter than the Doma. That's how good it was.
That's good. Well,
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It's cool to go over there with something new that nobody had it. Nobody had it because there's only 3 of them made, and they were all 3 on Joel's, and he was happy with them.
And that's great, because there's a ton of work that goes into that, and you got to take your hat off to the team over there. I mean, Dan is a super smart guy, and he's got smart guys working with him. So they do a lot of great work over there.
Yeah, Dan and Brandon and Lonnie's now working over there. I don't got nothing but good things to say about them guys. They take care of us. They treat us well, and they're always there for information. And like Lonnie's got a huge TT background. Dan's obviously big into moto all the way back with Joe Bird and all that stuff, and he's way beyond that. I mean, in the 3-wheeler era. But in probably out west with you guys, because that's where he's originally from, and now they're all in North Carolina. But man, Dan's got so much knowledge, and actually he's always been good to me. I don't got nothing bad to say about that guy, and he builds good power.
That's what it takes to do what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I never realized, like, until I went to his shop when he was out in California, all the GYTR stuff that he does. Like I didn't even know that like he was involved in all of that. And so it's like, wow, he's got his hands in a lot of stuff.
Right. They got a big production deal going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I never got to go to his shop, but I got to see pictures and things like that.
Right.
And yeah, it's freaking huge. I mean, they have a great operation going. You can't You can't say anything bad. I mean,
No, no. And then now he moved out to Salisbury, North Carolina, and he's out, they got their shop out there now. And then I seen that all go down. So it's like, so now they're moved everything from California out to North Carolina. Now it's like, holy cow. So now they got to regroup and get all that back in check. And, but they're doing it. I mean, they're killing it. They're doing a good job for
right.
sure.
And he's training his son to take it over when he wants to retire.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if I'd be honest with you. I don't know if Dan ever will.
Well, we all have an expiration date, dude. We all do.
Hey, good point. That's true. True
I
statement
mean,
there. I say the
so
same.
my dad's 88 and he still works on stuff, but he's not as he's not as thrilled about it as he used to be.
Yeah, right.
When he wants to do it, he's great. When you don't want to do it, okay, set it down. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I just got a lathe and a mill put in my shop, and I'm just like, I was all excited, and I was started making stuff for Gino at the shop, and I was like, hey, give me some stuff. I'll make some stuff, and I like it. It's just, it's just another animal, and then you go, well, wait a minute, I still got all this stuff to work out. I better slow down with trying to be a machinist. You know what I mean?
I have my hands in so many different portions of things that I'm
Oh,
doing
I
uh,
bet.
that it doesn't. Some days you want to go make a part, or you want to make something
Yeah.
new, and you don't have time.
No, I get it. I get it for sure. I was I just I laughed because the other day I was sitting back and I was sanding some wheel covers, and I was like going, when's this gonna end? When's this gonna end? And but on the other side of it, I go, you know what? There probably quite a few pros running them. So I guess I don't want to quit doing it quite yet, but it's pretty neat though. We just build I helped Gloop out this year with some GoPro stuff for mounts on the quads and stuff like that. Just doing a little nickel dime stuff here and there. So it's been pretty cool. I still enjoy it. So it's hard to turn away from it when you've been in it so long, and I know that.
And I don't ever want to go do anything else. I mean, this is the
Right.
industry that I want to be in, and I can't see building something new else. Building ATVs is what I do.
Right. No,
Mhm.
I get it. I get it. And when stop doing one thing, then the next thing you know, I'm trying something different. Back home with just local stuff, and I enjoy that still too. So yeah, I get it. It's it's fun, and it's definitely been cool on this journey. With Phoenix team, especially with working with Joel and Gary, because not many people could say they got to do that. And it's cool to see the speed that he has, and where he's come from, and his mom and dad are huge into the sport, and it's just neat. And David, obviously, I enjoyed, working with his son, and I missed working with his son, and wish he would come back to motocross, but he's doing pretty good GNCC right now. So, you got to let him go. You got to let him do it, because hopefully he's second points now, and he holds up the next couple races. I think they only got 3 races left or something like that. And, hopefully he's on the box for points and everything. So be kind of neat to see.
He's been super consistent
Yeah,
in
he's a machine, man. I tell you what, the kid's so like, he's so healthy. Like, his endurance is crazy. And you know what? It's weird because, like, you watch Bryce and Neil, he's just wide open. He's like Joel. They're just wide open. And Bryson don't slow down. Joel don't slow down. Grayson's a different pace. And he was that way in motocross too, but he was there at the end every time. He may not be the sprinter, but he's the long distance dude. He'll be there at the end. You watch yourself. I mean, there's been many GNCCs now where he was like fifth or sixth last lap and end up on the box, and you're going, where'd that come from? What happened? You know, and it's just he doesn't drop off. He's just really, really good athlete. You know what I mean? He don't get tired.
Yeah, that XC2 class is something else this year with
Yeah,
that Steven guy just went out and just kicked everybody's butt, and
yeah,
he's
he's good.
basically already clinched. There's 3
Yeah,
rounds to go and he's already clinched.
yeah, he's good. He's fast. Kid's fast. I don't know him that well, but I mean, everything I've seen, it's like, okay, you know, let's hope for second. You know what I mean? He's that good. So,
Well, I mean,
but
come on, that's kind of what they're doing at the motocross level right now is
yeah, yeah,
fighting for second place.
yep. You're right. You're right. And you hate to see that, because if you took him out of it, and you'd have to take Chad too with it. Take them two out of it, you would have one of the most amazing points battles, I think, in history.
It'd be
Because
going back. It'd be going back to the 250R era where
right,
you had
right,
10 guys that could win on any
at
given
any
day.
time. Yep, for sure, for sure. And I'm not knocking them guys neither. I'm just saying that that's, you know, it's just it's a different level of speed that I don't know if they'll find it or they will find it, but I hope they do. You know, but them guys, you know, Joel's speed, it's crazy. I could talk about it for days. It's just I don't understand. He's so good at cornering, and you know he just rides different than everyone. There's nobody who really rides like him.
There's
And
there's
same with
something.
Chad though too, because Chad, he looks like he's going slow out there because he's so big. He makes it look like he's not even looks like he's not even hardly giving effort, but he's flying. I mean, you know, it's neat to watch. It really is. It's neat to watch. Two different riding styles right there, and nobody can like Jeffrey. He rides close to Joel, but I don't know. I don't know where he loses speed because Jeffrey looks like he rails on that bike, and same with Janusa and Hogue. But I don't know where they're losing their speed at, you know, compared to Joel or Chad. But they, like I said, they've been running up front. I mean, obviously Brandon threw a surprise in for Chad at the Pleasure Valley, but the round before. I mean, and I don't know if Chad expected that, but Brandon put in a good second moto and got by him. So I mean, and got himself on the box, which was cool, you know. So
Right.
I don't know, you know, I don't know what to, you know. Hopefully Joel stays with that his training regimen that he's doing to stay where he's at. And he should
A
have a
lot.
healthy career.
I've had a lot of conversations about the Team USA thing,
Yeah,
but some of the conversations go, maybe we should take an A and a B team. You
you
know, because
know,
you have, but you have, okay, you have your top 3 guys, right? But then
yeah,
you have another 6 guys that are still probably faster than all of the other teams out there in the world.
you know, I agree with that to an extent. Do we need? I would rather, I think, see us take a 4th guy, a backup guy in case something ever happened. Do we need another team over there? I tell you right now, some of the teams we rode against last year, I mean, they were one guy was battling with Bryce the
Right.
whole moto, you know. So I don't think they're that far off the pace, but it was one guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Wasn't it
I don't know
Kevin?
that I don't know that we need 2
Wasn't
teams
it?
over there.
Wasn't it Kevin?
I don't think it was Kevin.
I, I think it
I
was
think it
Kevin.
was his partner, because he was on a hybrid. He was on a YZF. I don't think it was Kevin. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was Kevin, because I remember looking at the guy, and because he was parked right by Joel in the staging area, and I don't think it was Kevin, but it was the dude was fast for
I
sure.
have I have that on tape. I'm gonna have to go back and
I can't. I think Joel corrected me because I thought it was Kevin for the longest time, and then I think Joel corrected me and said no, it was this guy, and I just can't remember the guy's name. But yeah, I don't know that it's worth it. I mean, if it costs 80 grand to go over there, I don't think we need to waste 160 grand.
No,
You
we
know?
don't, but and plus I think it would diminish, realistically, it would diminish um what it's all about. The
I
top
agree
three
with you.
guys
Yeah,
from each deal, going out there and doing their thing. You know, it's an earned position, and
yeah,
if we took, 4, 5, and 6, then, and let's say that they went out and went 1, 2 in the race, that's not fair to the other countries that we're racing against.
yeah. No, and that's a great point because I don't think we need to be the top 6 over there, and all that will do is beat them down, and then then we demolish the whole series. I don't think that's something we would want to do anyways. But I get it. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing. They talked a little bit about it, but nobody. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But they talked a little bit about bringing just another backup rider just in case. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Once it's all said and done. But it's not a bad idea for sure. Because you never know. Like we had, everybody was sick last year. From the food and everything, and you
Did
know,
the food get them all?
yeah, I pretty much got them all.
I'm not
Chad,
trying to look away.
I think Chad was the first one. I don't know if Bryce got sick. I don't know if he did, but I know Joel. I watched Joel, like I said before. I watched Joel getting on the airplane, and the back of his neck was beads of sweat, and I'm going, "Holy cow! If they do a temp check on this kid, he might be staying over there." You know what I mean? It was that bad, and you can ask Joel. It was bad. I was going, man, I feel bad for him because I didn't really get it. I got it more when I got home. Just probably the transition, but I don't know. Like I said, that was definitely a different trip. That's for sure. I'm glad we're going to Italy this year. You know what I mean?
You think it was like a flu, or you think it was really food?
I think it was food.
Really?
I think, but I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, the weather wasn't like freezing cold or nothing. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a huge change in weather, but only thing that we all did was we all ate together, and you know what I mean? And we went to restaurants together, ate out for dinner, and
Right.
that's and the food was different. I mean, I'm not from that. We're all not from that area, and I don't know. I wasn't jumping up and down over the meals, meaning that I've never ate that food before. So I don't know how, I don't know how my body's going to react to this.
You're too funny, brother. Well,
Hey, Italy should be better. I like pasta.
the food is different, even in Italy. The food is different, and I've never been affected by the different foods in the different places that we've gone. Um, I've been very fortunate.
Right.
I think that Dubai was the roughest I've ever had it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because the food there was um, Randy Neville.
Hmm.
It was the guy was Randy Neville
I got you.
because he.
Oh, you're talking about the racer.
Yep, he doesn't speak English, and he's super fast.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin are
Yeah.
super fast. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't seen much of him this year in
Yep.
any of the stuff that I watch overseas, but I'm sure that he's probably going to be there because he's that fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I knew it was. I didn't think it was Kevin. I thought the same way you did when I was talking. And I was like, man, wasn't Sar the one who rode that hybrid? And Joel's like, no, that wasn't him. I said, okay. And then he told me his name, but it didn't click. Not like a Dean Dillon or something. You know what I mean? From Italy.
Right. They had some photos with Randy and Joel, and Randy doesn't speak English. And I did ask Joel about it, and he goes, we do the same thing. We race quads. We know we can
Yeah.
communicate because it's an international language. When you're talking about the ATV and the power and how it rides and the cornering and all these things, because Joel was telling me he had a conversation with him, and it was a little tough, but they figured it out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That dude, him and Bryce were going at it pretty good that race. That was a pretty good race. And that place went crazy. But Bryce came in and they bumped and all this stuff, and that place was going nuts. I was going, oh man, are we gonna get in trouble here?
But they're great. They're great sports people.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
that was a good. I'll be honest with you, that was a good race. It was cool. That last year was interesting to see, and like I said before, Bryce held his weight. He did a great job. You can't take nothing away from him, and he's been Mr. Consistent already this year, and he's got himself in a great position for this year. To be in the top 2 spot. So hats off to him. He's riding good. He's doing. He's got his shit together. You know what I mean?
He's got 2 overalls this year.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If you can knock the 2 guys who are typically on that top 2 position off, it's pretty impressive.
Well, yeah. I mean, we haven't had. I mean, you have 2 winners this year, but this is the first year in 12 years that it hasn't been Joel and Chad.
Yeah.
It's Joel and Bryce.
Yep. And like I said, we got Chad. If Chad would have missed a moto, who knows what we'd be talking about. But it's the nature of the sport, and to watch Chad bounce back from a broken collarbone and start getting a bunch of seconds is pretty dang impressive.
Dude, 3 weeks after he broke his collarbone,
Right.
he led in Texas.
Yes. And I mean, that had to feel like when I don't care who you are. I've had 2 broken collarbones, and I'm telling you right now, that ain't no joke. And I was blown away that he got it fixed that quick, and he's ready to roll. And I'm just going, wow, man, how come it took me 6 months? I mean, it didn't take that long, but I mean, it felt like it compared to his 3 weeks.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I had a conversation with him about it, and he told me the story of how it all broke down. The surgery, flying from there to home to get the surgery, and then flying back and going to Disney World with his kids.
That's crazy.
I mean, just that alone. I think that we need to take Joel and Chad and have DNA testing done, because I do not think they're human.
No, you're right. I agree with that. We were talking about that. Somebody said, "Oh man, you get to go over there with the fastest riders in the world, or in the world." No, I don't. They're the fast riders in the universe.
Yeah, because we don't know if they're human.
I don't know. I don't know that Joel is, but that kid, them guys. I mean, it's not just Joel, but I mean Chad. I mean that even Bryce. I mean, them guys. I've watched them guys for a while, and especially Bryce when he was in the that mini stuff, and he's always been fast. And when he transitioned into the pro class, I mean, it's been a good fit for him. He's done really well. It's cool to see that we got that there's competition like that coming up, and even Hogue. I mean, I didn't even realize how young Brandon is. He's young. He's like, I mean, he's 20s, early 20s.
Right.
And he's no slouch. He's no slouch by any means. And him and Bryce, they're both right neck and neck. And don't get me wrong, Rastrelli and Janusa are there too. But for up and comers, man, they're holding their weight pretty good. I think they're doing a good job.
I like to see the change in Janusa, because last
Oh
year when I
yeah.
got to meet him face to face at Briarcliff, you could just see the frustration. He just couldn't get better than the 6, and he was just frustrated.
Did you see his whole shot? Did you see that whole shot picture?
I did.
Dude, I laughed so hard. I says, I screenshotted it and I sent it to Joel. And I says, "Is this how you gonna let people do that to you like that?" I like to prod Joel a little bit, And he says, "Man, I'm so happy for him." He says he needed that. I said, "You're right. He did because we like Nick. Nick's good dude and always positive." And but it was cool. Like Joel was actually extremely happy with that. He was like, "You know what? I was so happy for him." And I was too, because you exactly what you said. Nick's went through so much stuff in the last, I don't know, 3 to 4 years with his dad and all kinds of stuff and his programs and stuff like that. His dad's there and all that, and his dad and I are good friends, and he's such a nice guy. And it was so cool. It was like icing on the cake. And even when he qualified second, I think he was second at Pleasure Valley too. I mean, it's just a booster that he needed because he's not a slow rider.
No,
He just been getting terrible starts and stuff like that. And man, it's they're when they're all that close. I mean, you're not gonna blow through the pack when you're all
no.
that close. So yeah, it was good. That was such. I see that picture. I just laughed, and I usually like to rev Joel up with it, and prod him a little bit with it, and yeah, we laughed about it. But no, we were happy though for him because Nick's a good dude. He's a really good dude.
I think most everybody that you meet that you get to be a part of in that world so far, everyone that I've gotten to speak to in the motocross side, the cross country side, and even the West Coast guys, they're all really good dudes. They really
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah. I got to meet Bo there 2 years ago or a year ago. Might have been a little bit. Might have been 2 years ago though, where I really got to meet him with Doug when I went out west. And
Yep.
what a good dude. That's another good dude right there.
Oh,
I haven't talked to him or nothing in a while, but yeah, he's bold. Bo's I'd like to see some of them guys come out. I know it's a hike and it's probably not worth doing, but it'd be cool to grab somebody like that and take him overseas.
he's better than you think, but not what he was.
No. I know he is. That's why I say it's like I think I would like to see him on like one of our bikes prepped, and I'd like to see him run, get off that Honda for a little bit and just bring him out to run some motocross because I know he's good.
Oh,
I
when
mean, that
Davey
would be.
was starting, his pro deal, they took Bo and him back there, and they both ran inside the top 10. The first time out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd like to see them guys come mix it up some more. I miss Davey and them guys. Davey's a good dude. That's another good dude. But yeah, them guys. I just how old is Bo?
42 or 43.
Holy cow! Wow. Huh. Did I
He's
heard?
working on his 11th title.
Damn. He's the goat. He's the goat out west, eh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And when it comes to works, I mean, we've had this goat conversation has came up so much in the last 3 weeks with so many people reaching out, who is this guy, that guy, and I don't think you could ever pin it down to one specific individual as being the goat.
Yeah.
because you got a guy like Bo that's won at motorcycles, UTVs, ATVs. He's won desert races. He's, done well in motocross. Then you have, Chad that's won 8. Joel's,
Right.
working on his 5th. Gary Denton won 8, but it was different because Gary Denton won TT motocross combination.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
I like the old format because it was an old you had to be good at both. You couldn't just be good at one.
right.
And even when it comes to, like, if they said Chad was the GOAT of 8 because he's 8-time, or Gary, you know, I still hands down feel Gary is because of the TT and motocross mix.
Well, there's a whole
Um,
other dimension there that you haven't
yeah,
even talked to about, because you had a guy like Eichner that won. He
yep,
won at motocross. He won at endurance racing. He won in Baja. He run in Best in the Desert.
right,
He holds the winning record over in Rendezvous. You know,
yeah, yeah. That's why I say it's a. I don't know. It's a tough one to debate. It's an easy one to debate, but it's hard to say who would be the goat of it all, because I mean, yeah, I still feel Gary has I don't Gary did it right. I mean, Gary, he had the sponsors, he did everything, but he had a huge bike background, so he was smart about it, and getting with Wayne, that combination there is just, that's a flawless combination, really. So that, they were, and they didn't have, what was cool is that you see them, they didn't have big power, they just knew how to hook it up. You know what I'm saying?
no, they haven't. Um, they haven't at all. Um, because, well, if you talk about Wayne Henson,
Yeah.
think of all the guys that he's helped at a level that um, puts him in a league of his own.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
helped Jeremiah. He helped Gus. He
Yep.
helped Farr. He helped Baldwin. He was affiliated with my brother. Um, you know,
Yeah.
just
He's
I
the
can
goat.
name a brother. That guy is super smart and
Yeah.
willing to share knowledge. And
Yeah, for
uh,
sure.
Wayne Hinson, at the time that he was in the industry more, um, I don't know of a guy that's like him now
Right.
in the
I agree.
industry.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. He's
I mean,
I mean, he's a he was we flew out there, I don't know, a couple years ago, and we sat down with him and his son Ronnie and all them, and we had dinner with them, and me and him started talking, and it was cool. It was just like he remembered me, which was cool. So I was like, all right, cool. He remembers who I am. And then we had dinner and stuff, and it was just a breath of fresh air to talk to him. He's so laid back, such a nice guy, good family. Family's all super nice. It was cool. It was definitely one of the neater trips I've been with David out there when we went out there. So it was pretty cool.
I want to get David on here.
Oh, good luck. He's not a
Right.
pot. He watches these, but he acts like he don't. But he watches these. But you know, I think he should be on one too, because he does a lot for the sport, and he does a lot, not just ATVs, but yeah, I mean the bike side, and he's got connections with a lot of people on the bike side too. And now he didn't plan on being a cross country guy, but his kid took him that way, and then all of a sudden he's got a bike team going that way, and he's got a really successful bike team for cross country. Cody Barnes. I'm trying to think of all of them, but Rui and them guys. I mean, there's just a lot of he's getting some very talented riders, and I've seen it grow since I've got there in like 2015, 16, I've seen this grow, even the bike side. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a big bike guy, but I follow it. I follow Supercross very well in that. But you know, he's got his foot in the door with a lot of people that makes a big difference, and it's cool to see his Phoenix racing team grow. And actually, the ATV side actually gotten smaller, but the quality of riders, you know what I'm saying? That, like, you got Joel, you got Bryson, okay, you got Grayson. Okay, there's our 3 ATV guys. That's all we got. And honestly, that's all we need. You know, as long as nobody gets hurt. I mean, that's
Right.
all you really, that's all we really need. And we've slimmed down so much. I mean, I can remember when there was 5 or 6 quads under the tent, and I'm just going, holy cow! And you're working on 2 or 3 of them at a time, and you're going, this is chaos. And I think when we did that, the program really got structured better. And I don't know, it's I think a lot of money that didn't need to be spent, and now we got the right people. Now the bike side, he's got bike riders, but it's just that's a little bit different sport. Them guys, want to get paid big money, and you're not really getting, you'll get close, but you're not going to get your rocks and your Sexton. You're not going to get guys like that unless you're going to pay millions of dollars. And I don't think he's ready to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and when you look at it, Honda does that. Suzuki does that. Yamaha does that. Kawasaki does that. KTM, all of them. They will find the baddest ones and pay the big dollar. Okay, you're stuck with what you got left out there. If they ain't signed with a multi-million-dollar contract or whatever, you're gonna get your hopefully a breakout rider, but hell, if you're getting in the top 10, you're not doing that bad because everybody above you is a factory guy. So
Right.
and we see a lot of that, and he's had some, he has a very successful arena cross team that's going for, Kyle Peters is going for, I think it's Buddy Antona's record or whatever, trying to get as many championships as he can as Buddy. I don't know how many Buddy had, but I didn't follow a lot of the arena cross, but I've been to a lot of arena cross, since being with the team, and it's pretty cool. It's neat to see. David's got that passion for. David's a bike guy, so he's got 100% the passion. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he loves the ATV world too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he does a great thing and a great deal for the sport of motorcycles or ATV racing. So yes, he needs to sit down and talk with me. I'd love to. I'd love to.
I might have to sneak you his number, eh?
Well, I'd like to get his two number ones on too, but they're so busy. It's hard to. Hey, Jim, I want to thank you so much for taking some time. Congratulations on your Team USA nod, and I wish you guys the best. I'm hoping to get the boys on and have them talk with me like I did last year. But
for sure, yeah. I'll hit them up. I'd love to say yeah, they'll do it, but and I know they will do it. But I mean, they'll be amped up to get ready to talk about it. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. And like you said, maybe when I get back, we'll hit you up again and get on the show. Maybe we can get that. Maybe we can get that clown Michael Bird on the show, eh?
He's actually, I may be talking to him very. The team here at ATV-TALK would love your feedback. Please email us at hello@atvtalkpodcast.com. If you're in need of a consultation for your current racing program, a custom ATV, or an industry guest speaker, I have the company for you. Duncan Technologies International Inc. offers host MC and guest speaking services at events, builds custom ATVs for recreational riding or racing around the world, and they offer consulting services for professional teams or individual racers. Send inquiries to duncantechinternational@gmail.com or call 619-716-1532 for more information. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to share us with your family and friends. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and you can find us on social media as ATV-TALK Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter.